Hello adventurers, here's your rest stop. This is just a little video of me sketching a few designs for my next Critical Role project, so I thought I'd come to you today dressed as Yasha for the intro. It's just a really chilled, laid-back video, so grab a cup of tea, made of dead people or not, sketch along with me or just have a chill, and I'd really love to hear your feedback. So here is my project book, I guess you could say, at the moment. I kind of plan out everything in here, including sketches of like possible cosplays, ideas, those kind of things. And I realised I started drawing up Bright Queen ideas, and I thought actually this would be a really good video to do. So I'm just going to sketch and chat, and we'll see how it goes. So for the initial concept of Bright Queen, I kind of was really inspired by Zendaya's look for the Met Gala, because I think that's one of the most beautiful kind of modern fashion moments we've had in a very long time. And as Matt describes in the show, the Bright Queen wears kind of a mishmash of armour and like formal wear. So she wears like armoured ball gowns, which is incredible. So I did a few more sketches. This one kind of inspired by Athena. This one a little bit more Baroque. And I do actually really like the kind of swirl idea. So I'm going to do a few more thumbnail sketches, and then we can kind of take it into some more, I don't know, fleshed out ideas. But I just thought it'd be interesting to have a little process about designing and just chat, and also maybe talk about Critical Role a little bit, because it is one of my other big loves. I know we talked recently about Monster High, which is probably my longest standing fandom, besides Disney, but I tend not to really count Disney because a lot of people are really into it. So here I'm just doing a basic figure, which I will then flesh out. These are just really quick sketches, just to kind of get ideas down, and then we shall see where it goes. But yeah, Critical Role I got into a couple of years ago, and it's really taken over my life. The characters of Yasha and Jester I really relate to, and they've helped me through quite a lot. And I know Campaign 2 now is really long. I used to recommend it to people because there wasn't much to catch up on. And now there's a lot. But I think what I really love about the NPCs is we have a lot of really interesting female NPCs, which is great for cosplay and just great in general, because I love seeing strong female characters within kind of traditionally male-dominated spaces like D&D. I know obviously that has changed a lot in the last few years, which is fantastic, and women have always been in D&D, but it's kind of nice to see it in the spotlight. And the Bright Queen is always described. I love how whenever they see the Bright Queen, they always ask what she's wearing first, even though she's this like incredibly powerful monarch. They still are like, what's she wearing? And a friend of mine, Halloween Fran, photographer, I'll pop her Instagram, has been asking me to cosplay the Bright Queen for a good while now. And I it's been a long-standing joke, but I actually think it'll be really fun to do. And I think it's a great opportunity for me to learn some new skills, because I don't really do much foam work. I do a lot of sewing, and a lot of kind of painting work and that kind of thing, but I've never really worked with foam. and made armour, and I always said I would wait for the right armour to come around, and I actually think doing something that's kind of combined with formal wear is something that will actually force me to actually complete it. Because I really love the idea of that kind of elegance mixed with the kind of hard elements of armour, but also really classic and beautiful, whilst also still being strong. So here I'm just doodling really, just kind of see what kind of things take my fancy. I do kind of really fancy doing some kind of big pauldrons, just because I think strong shoulders look really cool, and you could do some really pretty shapes with them. I don't know if I'm going to do one shoulder or two. I actually bought some foam at the beginning of lockdown, and just have never got around to using it. So I have a big roll of foam just sat waiting to be used. So I think this is going to be the project for that. We shall see. Let's hope. But yeah, and then hopefully once I'm done, me and Fran can do a fabulous shoot, and it'll be exciting. Another thing I'm interested to see how, like, what methods I could use is her headpiece, because she has 3 kind of like crystal horns. So thinking maybe possibly clear warbler or foam with an iridescent foil over the top. Because I do think this is an opportunity to really go and learn something and kind of expand my skill set. I don't really know what to do with the bottom of this. Maybe like a butt cape train sort of thing. Oh yeah, that's nice. I really like the idea of playing with volume and armour. That kind of juxtaposition of hard and soft, I think can look really successful. And I really hope I can do something really exciting with that. I've also seen fabric that kind of emulates chainmail, which I think could be really fun to play with. It's like a stretch knit almost. But obviously that chainmail aesthetic would be really fun to play with. I really liked the Jorhassian element in the story. Essek is such a great character. I love him. And the Bright Queen is so interesting. Her motifs are so like wrapped up in cloak and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors, not cloak and mirrors. Oof. Cloak and dagger, smoke and mirrors. I'm really interested to see where the story goes with Essek as well, and whether we will see the Bright Queen again. I hope we do, because I think she's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I watched the most recent episode, 127, I think, the other day, and I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. The way the campaign is at the moment, it's very intense. And yeah, I just think I'm excited. I'm so nervous where it's going to go next, because this does feel, at the moment, very final in the campaign, like big final boss energy. So I'm worried. But let's hope. but it's not because I'm not ready to let go of the Mighty Nine yet. I love them too much. I still have I bought I bought supplies to make level 10 Yasha, and also Yasha's ball gown from the Nicodranus party episode, and I still have not made that. So maybe I'll do a Yasha series on her too, because as a character, she is someone who I completely, utterly relate to, and think is really fantastically portrayed, and has had such great growth, especially in the way she approaches relationships with people and interacts with people and those kind of things. It's so fantastic. Yeah, between her and Jester, I definitely relate to both of them, which is interesting with media because I usually only relate to one character or attach to one character and then that's who I cosplay. But with Critical Role, there are these two kind of opposite ends of the spectrum of character. One kind of very withdrawn and self-reflective, and the other very outgoing, but also has that kind of insecurity, and that those two together, I think, combined, really describe me and how I am in my psyche at the moment. So there's the first design. I actually do quite like that look. I don't know if I want to bring armor further down, but again, I would be using chainmail for this skirt underneath. I decided to add some chains to her headpiece. I think I'm going to do a page on her headpiece as well, just so I can get an idea. But I quite like it. It kind of has Audrey Hepburn's Sabrina vibes with the embroidered train, but yeah. As I said in my last video, I've been meaning to start my YouTube for ages. And I'm still working things out. I'm still kind of trying to get audio right and camera quality. It's something that I'm still working on. But hopefully I can improve, and then it's all new skills really. And just expanding those skills into something new. So with this one I'm going to go more ball gown feeling, I think. So just like a big full skirt, very drapey, maybe with some lace along the bottom. I don't know if I want to do like a full breastplate bustier, or whether I do like some form of hip armour. The thing I like about the Kryn dynasty is how organic everything is described. Like Matt describes their armour as looking kind of insect-like. So I probably think I want to lean into that a bit and get those kind of organic shapes. Like I did, I'll pop it in here, a really bad edit of the Zendaya Met Gala look with the Bright Queen. And I think it would look really stunning. Like I think it would look absolutely fantastic. It's just whether I want to make something more original, I guess, and not kind of copy an existing garment. But then also that garment is perfect, so we shall see. I think with this one I want to do like a statement pauldron. Again, leaning into that bug feeling, kind of insect vibe. I do want her headpiece to be quite big and impressive. And I think the whole costume is a real opportunity to have a big project, because I haven't had one in so long since lockdown started, because there's been no conventions, there's been nothing to motivate me to start a project or finish a project. I've been doing lots of odds and ends recently, like finishing up old projects or just doing little jobs that need doing. But again, nothing to really grasp my attention. Okay, I quite like this. This vibe that's happening here. I think maybe if it has like a strap, another strap. It's tricky to work out what to do with this bodice. I think if I did armored pieces that went under, but left the midriff kind of just as fabric, that could be kind of cute. Kind of get a very kind of Grecian. And then we add this little cape, why not? If we're leaning into those Grecian deity vibes, why not? That is kind of cool, actually. Can do some cool things with. I think I'm going to go for that, as Matt described, Queen Dynasty, to kind of grey tones and iridescence. I want to use kind of iridescent fabrics and sheer fabrics and layer them if I did something in this direction. But then also I do kind of like the idea of a chainmail dress. I could probably combine them. Yeah, let's see how the sketches go. Yeah, so there's that's probably not good lighting. There's the first two new thumbnail sketches. Don't know if I'll decide on a design today. I am hoping to maybe start this project soon, just to have something that when we hopefully eventually get out of lockdown, I can have something to shoot and get excited for. I am kind of liking this. It's almost like a Scarlet Witch-esque headdress shape, because One Division finished this week, and I have that on the brain. You're probably sick of people talking about it, but I think it was a really powerful show, talking about kind of grief and trauma, and especially from the female perspective. It felt very soft for Marvel or the MCU, because obviously in the comics they do go into that. But I was really touched by it and thought the story was really fantastic. And I hope they respond to how well it's been received with more kind of female-driven stories. Okay, I'm trying to think where I want to go with this one. Maybe like a fishtail. Yeah, that's nice. with like some godays. Yeah, that could be. So the godays could be in that iridescent fabric, sewn in, with maybe like some small decorative filigree armour at the heads of them, with chains hanging in between. Oh, that's really nice. Ooh, that could be cute. Okay. I think I want to mirror that in the waist. So if we had like almost like a Swiss waist corset foam piece with more filigree, kind of very Baroque. Kind of extending out, so it's quite 3D, and then having some chain work. Hanging between, kind of cascading, that could kind of fill that space, which I always find really tricky with pencil skirts, is how you either use really interesting fabric or just accept that they're kind of going to look very plain, because obviously with a fuller skirt you have all the gathering, all the movement and those kind of things, but sometimes it's nice to put some interest in the skirt. Yeah, this could maybe lace up, I don't know. And then have separate cups. I'm not sure on this, I'm really just playing. I definitely prefer the more elegant looking. We could have some neck piece maybe. And then some points. Yeah, this is definitely feeling more insect-like. Anyway, I think the Bright Queen is such an interesting character because as a concept, she has lived for thousands of years and is so wise and has so much knowledge and information, and yet still has her own personality. Like, she's not overtaken by all these memories. So, I just finished recording and went to check the camera, and it stopped recording 20 minutes before I finished. It just turned off. So, I'm just going to run through where we ended up from where we started. I will do some nice B-roll footage that I can put over this. So here's the first sketch. I think you saw me do that one, and then you saw me do the second sketch, which I will pop some footage of here, which I think has ended up being my favourite, just because I think it is really elegant and the shape is really beautiful. Here's the third one, which is the last one you saw, which is actually my least favourite. Yeah, I just don't like how it's come out overall, and I just don't think it reads Bright Queen, really. This is the fourth one. Very kind of elegant and classic, but I feel maybe a little bit too simple for the Bright Queen. Yeah. Here's the fourth one, where I talked about Cersei from Game of Thrones and her metal corset and the big sleeves, and thought that could be an inspiration, but in the end I felt it didn't really match how I picture the Bright Queen. Here is the next one, which I went with more of like a historical take, so more of a ball gown. I did a cape and some pointy pauldrons, and I do really like this overall, but don't think it's my final choice. I'm so annoyed that this footage got cut because I had some really interesting chat with you guys about um, LGBT representation within the media and in Critical Role, and about how they talk about trauma, and I'm sure I'll get back to it in another video about the Broke Queen, or just any of my Critical Role projects, but yeah, frustrating. So here's the next one, a little bit more sleek, slim. This would all be, the fabric would all be pleated, and then hidden under this kind of Baroque cage, which I think could look really lovely. I do really like this design actually. The next one I wanted to go with more of like a Xena warrior Sparta feel. So it exposed the leg and had more of like a bustier, which I was thinking maybe could be done in like a crystalline texture or something kind of marbled to represent that kind of drow feeling. Here I played with headdress ideas and whether I wanted to go more simple or something with chains and gems, and talked about braiding her hair, maybe putting some gems in her hair. I quite like the idea of having the Bright Queen with quite big hair. I know a lot of people do her with more straight, sleek hair, maybe in a braid. Yeah, and I had a lot of fun drawing these. And this is where we ended up with this design. I kind of prefer the other take of this, but I do like the idea of incorporating stays or a historical corset, just to give it that kind of high fantasy feel. Yeah, I do like this outfit overall, pretty much. I like the idea of having mismatched pauldrons and the hip armor. With this one, I added a cloak. I was thinking maybe like a see-through iridescent cloak with some swirling on it, just to really represent that kind of royalty feel, and really hammer home like that she is in charge. So yeah, that's my sketches. I'd love to hear feedback or any kind of input you guys have. I'm currently researching fabrics and things. And then hopefully we'll be able to update with this project and which design I've chosen soon. So that was the video. I hope you enjoyed. Hoping to do more things like this in the future. I think it's really fun to just sit and create together. Let me know if you did do anything whilst watching along, and be sure to tag me online and watch this space for the rest of the project. See what happens, and I've definitely got more Critical Role stuff in the works as well. So until next time, don't forget to love each other, and I will see you soon. Bye!